Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to learn about looping statements in Python. Looping statements are mainly used to execute a statement or group of statements multiple times. So whenever we want to perform some repeated action, for that we can use looping statements. And in Python, we have two different types of looping statements. One is while loop and the other is for loop. In other programming languages, we have do while loop also, but here in Python, we have only for and then while. Let's consider the while loop. So while loop is used to execute a block of statements repeatedly until a given condition is satisfied. It is mainly based upon the condition. And when the condition becomes false, the control will come outside the while loop. And if we write any line immediately after the loop, that particular line will be executed. Now, in case of while loop, we have to consider mainly three things. Any loop will have initialization and then condition and then increment or decrement operation. So first, let us see the syntax of the while loop. So in the syntax, first we'll use the keyword while followed by the expression. So this expression will have a condition and that condition will give either true or otherwise false. Then we will have colon at the end. Now the while loop starts. Whatever statements we want to execute inside the while loop, all the statements will be given as a block of code. So all the statements will have the same indentation. Now let's see one example to understand. First, I am going to write a program to print numbers from 1 to 10 using the while loop. So now before starting the while loop, we have to fix what is our initialization, then what is the condition, and then what is the increment and then decrement. So since I want to print the numbers from 1 to 10, it means that I have to start with 1. So first I am going for the initialization. So here I have a variable called count that is going to keep track of the count of the numbers. So I'm initializing that with 1. Then I'm going to start the while loop. So write the while keyword. Now we are going to write the condition. So what is the condition here? We need to print all the numbers from 1 to 10. So we are going to write now while count is less than or equal to 10. That means that first we are starting with 1. We will check whether 1 is less than 10. Then we will print it. Then we will increment 1 by 1. So next we will get 2. Then check whether 2 is less than or equal to 10, print it, and so on. So the condition here is while count is less than or equal to 10. Now give the colon at the end. Now our while block is going to start. So what we want to do inside the while loop, we need to print the number first. So I'm writing the print statement. So I want to print the count. So I'm writing print count, comma. I'm going to give ending character as space. Otherwise, if I don't give the ending character, default ending character after printing each line is new line character. Therefore, after printing count, it will go to the next line. But I want to have in the same line the output, but with the space. So I am giving the ending character as space. After that, we need to now go for increment decrement. So here we have to first decide whether we want to increment for the next iteration or decrement for the next iteration. So now we need to print the numbers from 1 to 10. So after printing 1, we have to increment for next number. So I am writing now count is equal to count plus 1. So in this, we have written three things. First, this is the initialization. And here we have the condition. This is going to determine when the while loop will be stopped. And then we have increment decrement by means of count is equal to count plus 1. Now let us see how the program is going to execute. So when I run the program, it is printing 1, 2, etc. up to 10 in the same line. And between two numbers, we have the space that is decided by this end character. We are writing here space. So first, count will be initialized with 1. Since count is less than or equal to 10, it is printed. After that, count is incremented by 1. Now we will have count is equal to 2. Then again, control will come to the while loop. It will check whether 2 is less than or equal to 10. Yes, it is true. Therefore, it will go inside the loop, print the count, then count will be incremented. Now count will be 3. Again, the same thing will be executed. Finally, when count is equal to 10, it will check whether 10 is less than or equal to 10. Yes, it is true. So it will print 10. After that, count will be incremented to 11. When count is 11, when the condition comes to the when the control comes to this while loop, it will check whether 11 is less than or equal to 10. Now it is false. So the control will come after the line number 5. After this, we don't have anything. So nothing will be executed. So this is how a while loop is going to work. Now let us see one simple program. Write a program to find the sum of first n natural numbers using the while loop. So in this, whatever n value is given by the user, we have to find the sum of first n natural numbers. Now we know that natural numbers start with 1. So the sum of first n natural number is nothing but 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus etc. up to n. But here we don't know what is the value of n, that we have to read from the user. So by means of the input statement, first I'm reading the value of n from the user. Since the value entered will be considered as a string, I'm going to convert that into integer by means of the built-in function n, int. And the answer is stored in the variable called n. Now our aim is we need to find the sum of first n natural numbers. So we need to have a variable called the sum to store the value of the sum. Always, in case of sum, we'll be adding two numbers. When we add two numbers, initially we have to take the additive identity as sum. So additive identity is 0 because with the 0, if we had any number, we'll be getting the same number only. So I am taking sum is equal to 0. This is very important. After that, I need to find the sum of numbers from 1 up to n. So I'm going to start with 1 as the first number. So I am writing I is equal to 1. Then we need to write what is the final condition. So the condition here is we need to print all the numbers from 1, 2, etc. up to n. So the final value of I will be less than or equal to n. And now what is the body of the while loop? Inside the while loop, we need to perform two operations. The first operation is whatever is the value of I, that should be added with the variable called sum. So I am writing sum is equal to sum plus I. After that, we need to write the increment because first we need to print 1, then we need to find the sum of 2. So what is the difference between 1 and 2? It is nothing but 2 minus 1 is 1. So I am writing now I is equal to I plus 1. And then this task will be executed continuously till I is less than or equal to n. When I is greater than n, the control will come outside the loop. In that time, we have found the sum of the first n natural numbers. And the answer is available in the variable called the sum. So we need to print the sum. So that is done here. Let me run this program by pressing Shift Enter. It is asking me enter the value of n. I'm giving n as 10. So it is going to find 1 plus 2 plus 3, etc. up to 10. The answer is 55. Now let us write a program to print the following series using the while loop. So here the series is given as 50, 40, 30, and then 20. So in this, we are not going to find any sum. We are simply going to print the series. So now first we'll identify what is the starting value. So here in the series, the first number is 50. Therefore, the starting value is 50. So I'm initializing I is equal to 50. Then I need to write the condition. If you see, always in the condition, we will write everything with respect to the last number in the series. So here, the last number in the series is 20. So we will write here 20. But now we have to check what is the relation of these numbers with respect to the last number. All these numbers, 50, 40, 30, everything is greater than 20. So I'm writing while I is greater than 20 and the last number is equal to 20. We need to print that also. So the condition here is while I greater than or equal to 20. So inside the while loop, I have to print the number. So I'm writing print I. After that, now we have to decide what is the increment or decrement. If you consider this series, the second number is less than the first number. Similarly, the third number is less than the second number. And what is the difference between the consecutive numbers? It is 10. Since the second number is less than the first number, we will have decrement instead of increment. So I'm writing I is equal to I minus. And what is the difference value between two consecutive numbers? The difference is 10. Therefore, I'm writing I is equal to I minus 10. So now let me run the program. Let me comment the first line. I'll run the program now. So in this, the series is printed as 50, 40, 30, and then 20. So we have seen how a while loop works. Now let us see about for loop. So for loop is generally used to iterate over any sequence like list, string, tuple, range, dictionary, and so on. And iterating over a given sequence is also called as traversal. That means we are traveling all the elements one by one and then we will be printing them. And For loops are generally used for sequential traversal. Let us see the syntax of the for loop. First, we'll have the keyword for, followed by the iterative variable name. Then we will have in keyword, that is followed by iteratable data type. That is nothing but the variable, iterative variable, where our values are present. Then we will have the colon. Finally, whatever is the body of the for loop, those statements we will have here. So these statements will be repeated many times for all the variables in the iteratable data type. Now let us see how we can iterate through a list, because list is a sequence data type which is going to contain collection of items. We are going to take a list. We will iterate over all the elements in the list, print everyone one by one. So now I'm going to declare a list called fruits. Since it is a list, I'm going to have a square bracket. Inside the square bracket, I'm going to declare 4 fruits: apple, banana, mango, and then papaya. Each and everything is a string. So each and every member of the fruits list is given inside double quotes because it is a string. We can even use single quote. And now we are going to use a for loop for traversing through the list and then print all the elements one by one. So the syntax is for variable. You can use any variable here. I am using the variable as var in fruits because it is nothing but the list name. So that I am giving here, followed by colon. Then we can give the statement inside the for loop. Here I need to print all the elements in the list one by one. So I am giving print var. What is this var? This is nothing but the iteratable variable here. So that is given inside the for loop. So when I run the program, now first it will start with the first element in the list, that is apple, that will be printed. Then it will automatically move to the next element because it is called as iteratable object. So the second element is banana, that will be kept in the variable, that will be printed. Then it will move to the next variable, mango. Finally, papaya. After printing papaya, that is the last item in the list. So control will come outside the for loop because the list items are over. So this is how we can iterate through a list and print all the elements in the list. Similar to iterating over a list, we can even iterate through a string. For example, let us create a string variable called str and initialize that with Python. Now I need to print all the characters in this string with the help of the for loop. So the syntax is for var in str print var. So here string is nothing but it is a collection of characters. So it will start with the first character, print it, then it will be moved to the second character and so on till the end of the string is reached. So when I run this program, I am going to get every character of this particular string printed in new line. So with this, we come to the end of this video. In the next video, we will see about a built-in function called range. Thank you, everyone.